That was a good start.
Was it?
We gonna throw an intro in there or not?
No, we don't. Me and Henry decided to stop introing the
Like
podcast.
it's more like a warm. You just get right into it. You just
'Cause
warm it up.
You start
You don't
speaking.
even do an intro at all anymore.
And I mean, speaking of warming up, welcome to episode 77 of the YoungBucks podcast. Very happy to introduce and welcome back, Kyle Hose. It's been a minute.
Formerly
Noah
known as-
Haiss, also in the building.
I think I was on here. I haven't been on here with you yet.
No, this is good.
This
It
is the
is.
first foursome that we've had on the YoungBucks podcast.
And it's the OGs.
It is the OGs.
It is.
Everyone who's been on the podcast.
Are we the only two that's been on the?
Uh,
No,
we've had two other
technically-
guests.
Who are the other guests?
We can't name drop.
Your cousin. Well, she's been on the podcast, so it's
Okay,
fine.
that's true.
Addison? Madison.
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 Close.
And Denton. Episode like 6. It was right in the beginning.
Yep.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last when you guys came on, was it my birthday? Like around that time.
I don't know.
Who came on your birthday? On
I'm
the
saying,
show.
I'm saying the three, you, Madison, and
No,
Noah.
that was on Black Friday. That was Thanksgiving time.
Okay.
So it was
Yeah,
around.
because she was in
but-
town for
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So you're only a month off.
yeah. Close. You notice you said me and Henry don't intro the podcast anymore. Like you didn't realize that. Like, have you not been listening?
Nah, I haven't been listening. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really been listening to any podcasts.
It's been some of our best.
But really,
We've had some of our best work. What are you about? I know you don't listen.
Totally listen.
The people have we've been getting some good feedback.
I might have
recently.
to go back and catch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Do it.
the full
Alright.
episodes have been dropping on YouTube. We've even been dropping some clips. Go, feel free to check it out.
YouTube.com/YoungBucks.
And this one, if you're listening on audio right now, is definitely one you're gonna want to go check out on YouTube. Just because it's a different setting, we got everybody here.
We're in the back room.
We're also
Wait. Are you? What's on? What are you wearing?
Yeah. What is this?
What do you? Wait. You? Oh, dude, you have one too.
Oh my gosh.
wait a minute.
Hold up. Turn around.
Wait.
Whoa, yo, is that a
nice.
Young Bucks shirt? Nah. Whoa,
Oh my goodness. Double sided.
So we're selling merch now.
What?
we're
Kidding.
sporting merch.
I mean, I guess.
We're sporting merch. Best birthday gift I got this
Hey,
year.
Happy birthday! Officially on the
Yo,
podcast.
okay, man. Thank you.
He has been
Thank
he
you.
has been 21 for exactly 17 minutes.
Hey, it's an exciting time.
It is.
What's this?
It's your beer.
It feels good to be 21.
It's like a monumental birthday, but it's really not.
No, it's just another day.
I think. Yeah, I don't really know if any birthdays are monumental, honestly. Like 50,
Yeah,
but
Maybe.
none of us know that.
I don't know why you just looked at Noah. If I'm being 100% honest with you.
Can you explain that?
I mean, as far as like birthdays go, I think once you hit 21, it's kind of just like
Downhill.
another birthday.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like 18, you're like, cool, I'm an adult, and then I guess now at 21, you're like, oh, cool, I can drink, but like, there's
If
nothing
you don't,
crazy to
then
it.
yeah.
Yeah, just another age.
You turn 18 and you're an adult, but you find out you still can't like rent a house or rent a car. So
And
you're
then
really
like
not
when you're
an adult.
21, you're now an actual adult.
Yeah. So I guess it is now you're an actual adult, Henry.
Congrats,
go.
dude.
There we go. The
Crazy.
The
What's-
government decided I could do those things.
Facts.
Actually, it might be 23, but that's fine.
All right.
What's crazy is
I think
we
you're
were
right.
sitting for Henry's birthday. All the family came over and we were sitting at the kids' table. But in turn, it was actually the adults' table.
We were all adults.
Sitting at the adults'
Young
table.
By
adults.
law, yeah.
We
Yeah.
were adults, and so how the turntables have turned on the adults, we're actually us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 It was a stretch, but we got there.
Thanks. Appreciate it. So yeah, don't know as far as like merch goes where we're going, but like
We got
this was
something
the
to
gift.
represent.
We got something to represent the YoungBucks podcast, and
I got a hat
shoot.
too.
Yeah, wait. What's
I
on
got
your
a
head?
hat. It's embroidered YoungBucks.
Not just
Established
any hat either.
2022.
47 brand. One of the
It's
nicest
quality.
in the game. Shout out
For
to them.
sure. for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Best hat we got here.
Yeah, probably
That
'Cause-
USA hat makes an appearance though.
USA.
That's
My
not.
USA hat.
It's not on anybody's head right now.
Yeah,
you
that's a
straight.
good point.
Man.
How old are you, Kyle?
I am 24 years old.
Did 21 feel big to you?
No, it happened during COVID, so
Did any age after that feel big?
no. I think 18 was like kind of big, but because I went to kindergarten when I was 6, I was still in high school, so it didn't. Like I graduated when I was 19, so it didn't feel like anything.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think no age really has felt like, oh wow, this is a big deal, because it really doesn't change anything.
Have you felt sad at any of them? Like,
I think
25.
no, I think
25's gonna feel.
I
Sad.
think 25 is gonna be sad for sure,
Mm-hmm.
because you realize like you're 5 years away from being 30.
Jeez, dude, you're
closer.
getting
You're
old.
closer to 30 than 20.
Yeah, and that's wild.
Yeah.
That's a scary place.
Dude,
to
you're
be
closer to 20 than you
You
are
think so?
10.
Are you
Yeah.
scared of 30?
Dude, you're closer to 30 than you are to us.
in. I don't think I'm scared of 30. I think I'm scared of not being where I want to be at 30. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
powerful.
So like
Scared
I'm
of-
not scared of the age of 30. I'm scared of not achieving what I want to by the age of 30.
Powerful, dude.
So
For your like inner self, or for how other people would see you?
Also powerful.
mostly inner self, because I put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah.
But that being said, not of how not of how other people see me. It's more of back to myself of not being at the places where other people are at 30. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like
I do.
comparing myself. Even now, like friends are married, friends have houses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to not compare yourself to them, but you just like the way that helps me is like I just remember that I'm on a different path than they're on.
Facts,
Like
dude.
my path is just different than theirs.
100%.
They chose to do this and I chose to do things differently. So it's easy to compare yourself, but you just have to remember that everybody has different ways to get to where they want to be.
We're all on our own road, and we're all evidently we're trying to get to the same spot, but we're all just taking different ways to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
It's facts.
that's how life is, though. You know.
Yeah.
Like we're both just starting ours. You're also starting yours.
Also
but like,
starting mine.
and yeah, you know, and that's what's weird about it. But like you've also done a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And so have you. You're also starting, but like
Mhm.
you've also done a lot of things. Not as much as him. And also like we
But,
haven't done as much as you, but we're all gonna end up at the same spot. In a mansion.
I know what you mean.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say, is someone like, since you're older than us, a lot older than us. I don't want to keep. Okay, we can keep handing it off. Like, something I thought when I was younger is like, oh, you'll finally feel like you're supposed to be getting somewhere, or like once I hit 18, I'll feel like an adult, and it's not gonna feel weird to like go do things and succeed. And then as I hit like 16, 18, you get older and older. It just feels like you have to push yourself regardless.
Oh,
Like you're never gonna feel comfortable.
It never
doing
stops.
something,
Yeah,
right?
and I think the moment that you feel comfortable is a bad moment because you realize you're not pushing yourself. Like my last job, I got comfortable at my last job, and that clicked. That this comfortability. I looked long term, and I was like, this is not where I want to be. You know what I mean? So you have to make those adjustments. Like there's no. Once I'm doing this and I'm this age and I have this, that's not real because there's always something else that you can take yourself higher to like the next spot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I hear you.
So, yeah, I think it's just always being willing to adapt and pursue something higher than what you're doing.
Because especially like if me or him were to apply, let's say we have like a sufficient degree or like, what would the other word be? Like a certificate for something.
Certification.
Yeah. But like we're 18 and we're competing against people who are like 30 going for the job. You're never going to feel right.
Right.
But I don't think that's going to change as you get older because you'll always find something.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that would go away when I was younger.
Yeah,
but
no.
I feel like
Not
that
at all.
doesn't now.
But like also not being satisfied with where you're at, but being comfortable with where you're at. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like selling donuts is not going to be your end goal, right?
No.
But that's the spot you're in right now. And as long as you have a goal, if that's just part of the steps to getting to the goal, then there's no problem with that,
Yeah.
right? So I
Because
think
like
that's
initially why I got that job, other car I was using had some issues. So I was like, okay, I need transportation.
yeah,
So,
issues meaning like no oil in the engine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Okay.
a pretty big
No oil in
issue.
your car?
We didn't
Well,
even talk about that.
technically, anyways. But yeah, so that pushed you to get the job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now the next thing is
Mhm.
when you get another job is going to be something else pushing you to get that other job.
Exactly.
If you continue on that path, then you're going to be fine.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just like continually pushing yourself always.
And you can be satisfied with where you're at, but just know that you're never going to be at like that next level.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with being satisfied with what you're doing. There's plenty of guys that have worked the same job for 35 years and retired and been completely happy. But if you are the type of person where you want to be, you have high standards for yourself, then you can't be satisfied at that level.
Mhm.
I think that's what I've learned.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really like what you guys are talking about. Like, I feel like it's kind of relatable to me too. Like with what you were saying about being young and you compare yourself to older people, like getting into real estate and like going to business meetings and things like that. You look around, you see like 30, 40-year-olds who are like really in their work, whether it's the same as me or not. I've been caught up in comparing myself to them. Like, oh shoot, like I should be where they're at, even though I'm just starting. I'm 20. And also like a lot of the uncomfortableness with it, I've just began addressing.
Mm-hmm.
I've been more uncomfortable because I haven't been really being myself, rather than it being uncomfortable just because it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And so like I'm really now just getting to that point of like transitioning into like, how can I find something that's challenging, that's like me being myself.
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest quest everybody's on, is to like being yourself in what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
like with your life. Like if you ask us like what do we want, is like financial freedom, but it's like really the freedom to be yourself like within your life.
Yeah, 100%.
And so like if we can all find that, like what's our career that matches ourselves, then like that soul searching isn't like just trying to be found in your work or in those empty things that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like there's always gonna be that next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, like, if I know these things, it's proven. If you listen to any podcast, you talk to any people in your communities, they'll tell you like the nice car, nice house, like it wasn't what they thought it would be. It's not that they don't want it, like they
Right.
want to live in a box or
Mhm.
have no car, but like it's not the thing that satisfies them.
Right.
Like, so if it's not gonna be what fills you, why like let it keep you empty,
Right.
type of thing.
I think like two things is like comparing yourself not to those around you, but to yourself.
Facts.
Like if you next year at this time, if we were to sit in these exact seats a year from now and we haven't improved, then we are not doing something right. You know what I mean? But you can't compare yourself to the owner of the donut shop or to the owner of your construction company, because they're at a very different level and they probably have way more time in the industry. But if you can compare yourself to look back at the last 6 months, 3 months, a year, whatever, and say, okay, I did this and this to improve.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't do this and this. I haven't improved. What do I need to do to improve? You know what I mean? And then along the lines like what you were saying, like I had the realization that like the things in life are not what satisfies you.
No.
Like I got my truck. 2 days later, I pull in the gas station, bigger truck. I was like, oh, I need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've been realizing that for a very long time. But recently I started doing my devotions again because I realized that like God is the only thing that will bring me true satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's a
Yeah.
hard realization. Like that's something hard to realize because growing up it's shoved down your throat by the industry like, oh, you need this to be happy.
Yeah.
That's not it. Like you can be happy with your Bible and a relationship with God and be living on the street at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I think you keep doing your devotions, you keep growing with God, and you keep improving on yourself every year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where I've been finding a lot of happiness recently, is right there in that same spot, because just like surrounded by, not necessarily I guess just generalizing, surrounded by a lot of darkness, there is a lot of light to be found in Scripture, and I think that's I've been a lot more joyful and a lot more happy, kind of in the same spot,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd credit it 100% to that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great.
I think my tip for the people would be like, so Henry Nice pastor, he told me just start reading by like a chapter or whatever. Like I started with reading like the Bible in a year thing and taking one thing away. So I would take one thing or sometimes 5 things, write them down. I review it in the morning, pray over it, and then go to work. And then eventually, he talked about this like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah,
when
it
we were
was
sitting next
not
to each
this.
other.
No, it wasn't today, but it was last week.
Yeah, and he was like, eventually I started to find that I was enjoying this time more and I was becoming invested in the scripture. You know what I mean? And I'm not in any spiritual place to be giving anybody spiritual advice. But
Even though you did.
I did. But like listen to what I'm saying. That's what's helped me and maybe it'll help you. Like just start with something small. And I think as it goes, your satisfaction will increase.
I was listening to a podcast about solitude this week, and that just being like time that you try to spend with God. It was like if you show up with no expectation of something to happen, that's where like the most freedom will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of what he's talking about with reading the Bible is like I'm not showing up like trying to change my life or like get something from God here. I'm just trying to like be obedient to what he commands, like spending time in the word
Mm-hmm.
and like simply writing that verse out. And like that's where the faith and the trust comes in, that things are going to start moving in ways that you can't even control.
Mm-hmm.
He closed out the sermon today by saying like the satisfaction that we seek in our lives, which even talking about like our careers and you know living and the accomplishments that we want to have, like that's the same feeling that God has to be glorified. So like the more that we do what it takes to glorify God in everything, like that much more will we be satisfied. That equally will we be satisfied. Like that's where the fulfillment in our lives can only come from. Like our souls are a really big thing. And I think everybody seeks to fill their soul at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily like look around and what do you have, but like how do you feel inwardly? It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Should have gone to church this morning.
You did go to church, but you just didn't come to.
Should have gone to that church this morning. This is I'm not gonna lie to you. I was expecting this to be like a big goofy podcast. We got all the boys.
Yeah.
It's midnight. We just got back from Speedway and it's been like solid right from the beginning.
I think we're just dynamic. Like we could go either way
Mm-hmm.
with it being crazy, with it being
Chris obviously doesn't even want to be here right now.
I'm looking into something.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's looking at scripture. How's it gonna be good?
I was trying to. It doesn't apply though.
something I heard from a sermon about like trying to find peace and fulfillment was if you look at majority of commercials, the underlying theme is like peace. Like if you look at like furniture commercials or like stuff about like cars or like campers, like just people selling stuff that you're watching on TV, like a lot of it you see is like people being happy and like being at peace and enjoying like the people around them through the product. Like you feel like if I buy this product or if I consume this thing, whatever it is, I'm going to get that same peace. And I think that's what like moves people like psychologically is like how much peace can I get from what I'm about to do.
Right. And it's crazy. Like a good relationship with God brings that peace. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It is wild too. I realized like you do your devotions for like one day. You don't spend that time, and it's crazy how quickly like the sins that you struggle with will creep back into your life.
For sure.
It's crazy.
Because like when you don't start your day or end your day or aren't thinking about your devotions, then you're filling your mind with other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it just creeps right back in. Next thing you know, all that time you spent trying to improve your relationship is gone just like that.
I've I've realized recently that, like, I've started to feel, like, guilty about time. Like, yesterday, I felt like I couldn't, like, I wanted to do a bunch of things yesterday. Obviously, we were going to record the podcast yesterday, and we, for some reason, never got around to that. I don't really know what happened to that.
God had better
morning.
plans in store.
Yeah, God had better plans. And so, we couldn't get around to that. And so, like, I was laying in bed for a little while, and then I felt like, man, I've been on my phone for a while, and then I was like, well, I want to do all these things today, but then I'm like, well, then when am I? And then, like, there's baseball on later, and I really want to watch the baseball, and then I'm like, but what time am I going to give to God? And I was like, well, I just spent all this time on my phone, so why can't I give a half hour, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt guilty about that yesterday, and then I was like Wednesday it was, I got home from work. I went to work early, got home from work, took a shower. The Pistons were on. It was their first game. I sat down and I watched basketball the rest of the night. And then I was laying in bed and I was like, man, I just spent all that time watching basketball because I wanted to do it. But, like, what time did I give to God? And I've been feeling guilty about, like, how I spend my time and how I could do better about, like, managing my time to be with God. And I feel like I can't get a start to my day without doing that now.
Mm-hmm.
Or end to it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, like, if I, like, accidentally wake up late and then, like, don't do it until I get home from work or something, you know?
The hardest thing for me is, like, I spend all that time on my phone or watching a movie or something, and then it gets to be too late where physically I cannot do my devotions, or I'm not going to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's where I realized it's like, oh, if you just do it, get it out of the way. That sounds horrible, but that's not what I mean.
Right, I understand. I
If
know,
you-
because I was thinking the same thing.
If you do it, you won't make the mistake of being on your phone too late, you know, or just not making the time. So you just have to make that time earlier or set, I'm going to be off my phone by this time so that I can. You know what I mean?
If you just do it without any emotional, like, oh, if I, like, it's got to be the perfect scenario in order for me to sit down and just do this right now.
Right.
Just do it. Like, however long you have, like 5 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Doesn't
Whatever it
matter.
is.
Just something is better than nothing. That being said, I'm not saying, oh, you only need 5 minutes a day. Not what I'm saying. But if it does come down to where you only have 5 minutes, that 5 minutes is better there than on TikTok.
Yeah. It's all, like, it's not like a checkbox thing.
Mhm.
Like, I got to be here for 40 minutes today to
No,
have a
yeah.
successful devotional time.
I sometimes am because I struggle to read. I struggle to read so much. It's so, and then my mind wanders and it's terrible.
If I shut this off, is it going to mess it up?
No.
It just, like, it will make a noise, but not something that is, like, super
Like if I shut it
interference.
off to blow my nose, that'll be fine.
Yeah, please do that.
Okay, good.
Do you need the tissue box? Oh, I see you.
Yeah. So back to what we were saying about, like, whatever we were talking about before. So today our message at church was about
Bless
mammon or money and wealth, material possessions, and what Jesus has to say to it. And so there was a question posed at the beginning and the end, and it says, if I was able to eliminate or push to the side everything that pastors, preachers, and other Christians have told me over the course of my faith journey regarding mammon, what conclusions would I come to after reading Scripture?
Oh, okay. So, like, if you did not...
Keep going. You're explaining it right now.
Did you
I
turn
was-
your mic on?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying, like, I don't hear anything from a pastor. I don't hear anything from a teacher. I don't hear anything from a podcast. All I
Straight
did was, like,
Scripture.
read the Bible, and from my own personal perspective, what would I think about having a house, having money, having possessions, having relationships,
Mhm.
like, those sorts of things. Like,
Yeah.
how would I perceive it myself
Yeah.
without any influence, even positive influence?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
It was definitely, like, an interesting question
I think, like,
posed.
it's a lot of, like, wisdom, like a command to be a steward over your possessions. It says nothing about, like, necessarily, like, having like like if you are able to afford like the newest truck, like drive like the cheapest thing from Facebook Marketplace. Like it's not like you have to like go to that level.
Right.
Like even if you can afford something, I just think it means like be wise, like be willing to give when you feel led and not out of obligation. Like giving's not like a checklist thing. Like here's like this is going to this, boom, checked off the list. Like I'm not even thinking about it. I think there's stories in the Bible about how like circumstantial giving can be, and giving what you have.
Lost it.
I mean, that's kind of like what I would think is like, okay, I have X. I mean, there's the story about the talents. Like each person is given different talents, and the dude who's given the least is the least responsible with it, and he's given the least after the certain time period passes because he did absolutely nothing with it.
Right.
But like the people who were given like the medium and the most, they were very wise over what they were given, and they just like did something with it and were able to like receive back like 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold of that gift, of that possession, just because they were wise with whatever it was that they were given.
Yeah. Yep.
So like at the end of the day, like if you want to just use money, for example, we're all going out and earning it, but we're like given the opportunity to go do that. Like God is like allowing us to go and do that thing. And we just got to be responsible with our time and our money.
Yeah.
I would say that was my takeaway. Be wise.
How long have you been doing this?
May 2nd, 2021. 2022.
Where is he going?
We're back rolling again. We had a minor issue with the water machine. Softener, as some would call it.
And Chris actually just walked out, and he's wasting away the hour and a half we have until it goes off again.
Yeah. But yeah, May 2nd, 2022 was the first published episode. We started developing it in February, March. We did a couple test episodes, just developing the logo and brand and everything, accounts, studying on like equipment leading up to that episode launch. And then since then, pretty much every week, I think we've missed a few here and there, but like nothing crazy.
Yeah. No month breaks, nothing like that.
No, nothing like that. And if we did miss anything, like we put something out, like at least to like acknowledge.
I think we did. Like we were gonna do it super late at night.
Yeah.
And we were like, actually, let's just put out something saying we'll be back next week.
Yeah, that was a great decision.
Because that would not have been the move that night.
No, sometimes you just don't got it.
No.
Sometimes you have off night. You know.
It was every week for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider returning to your position?
I'm not at a point in my life where I can dedicate the time to be a good producer.
That's okay. Honesty
my
is the
mic's
best policy
definitely-
around here.
Mike's definitely been off.
Oh, your mic?
Yeah.
That's wild. Noah asked if I would ever consider returning. That's what the question was. Chris has returned, though.
Finally.
So, like, do you guys, like, you both have been a part of you guys are a part of the podcast, just not, like, every week.
Like, if you need a filler,
Yeah.
Noah and I are probably going to be first choices.
Like
Yeah.
that
Gotcha.
solid substitute teacher that everybody likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
Noah
yeah,
there.
like, very reliable. Anyways, like,
Excuse me.
would you, like, if it, not necessarily, like, being a weekly reoccurring guest or anything, but is there, like, something, like, a role you would like at YoungBucks, like, in an ideal world, if you were like, oh, man, it'd be cool to do that for the show?
I think it'd just be cool to, like, come on a little more often.
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy that.
Because your main thing wasn't like, I don't like being on it. It was just I was busy. Or you
Yeah.
were busy, right?
It was busy, and I wasn't putting in the time that you guys deserved me to put in.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but, like, if you were like, hey, we're recording,
Yeah.
pop in, like, a little more often, I'd be
Yeah.
down with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Same thing for you.
Yeah, 100%.
I just feel like it's good sometimes we can just bring different
Yeah,
things.
just filter in, have 3 people.
Yeah.
Or 4.
Or 4. Honestly, this
Yeah.
is a vibe.
This is kind of
I don't know, I
nice.
think
I,
we have-
If you
I've had
like
3
Chris's flannel, it's mine. What would you
and
like
Kyle
to say?
actually bought it from my grandma.
Don't listen to them.
That's
Chris is probably going to say something right about now about being butthurt because we actually asked him to resign.
Would you ever consider doing a no deering episode?
yeah.
That'd be wild.
Noted.
If you guys go to St. Pete, hit me and Noah up.
Absolutely.
There might be one next week, actually.
Oh, facts.
You're the
Because
bike
I
race.
looked at Airbnbs. We're talking like $277 for a night.
That's doable.
I am not. I
It's-
love you.
Here, one
you
day, right?
split it.
I'll pay for the whole thing.
Nuh-uh.
If you,
pay for gas.
yeah, you gotta.
Okay,
drive.
but can we take your car? I'll pay for gas if we
I
take
don't know
your
if my
car.
car will
my
live
car.
that. Yeah,
That's the same as taking my
My-
truck.
You can take my car.
Okay, that's the same car.
Yes.
So very unreliable.
But
Okay,
gas
but, like,
mileage.
it is good gas mileage, and his doesn't like pop when it turns.
True.
Yeah.
Because I'll just paint a picture for you.
Mhm.
To Chicago and back is $175 in gas for me.
That's crazy.
Don't say it. No, take that away. Just take that away from him. So that's like 15 miles a gallon. Your guys' car gets way better than that.
Yeah, definitely.
You would not pay for the whole thing. I wouldn't feel right
Can we just all go in on a community Ford Focus?
that we just interchange. Like, hey, I got a long trip. I need to take the car.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We can't put it in my name for insurance though. I have too many points. So we got to pick somebody else.
Okay, that's fair.
I feel like we're young, so that's not gonna go well. So I feel like he's the only.
I do have
option
pretty good car insurance right now.
Would you be comfortable sharing how much you have to pay a month?
I actually don't know how much I pay a month technically.
Oh, so you're just loaded? Like it just you don't even think
No,
about it?
no,
Oh,
no, not like
okay,
that.
gotcha.
Yeah, he's got that young buck money.
Do you care about the money?
I
How much value do you place on your possessions?
Okay, don't listen to him.
I set it up to save my monthly. So like every 6
Oh,
months.
you pay 6 months.
I pay 6
Gotcha.
months.
How much is it for the 6 months?
$850 for 6 months.
I pay
So-
$260 a month.
That's kind of crazy.
$850.
I mean,
you
I
were
would
trying to
say-
do like the math in your head. for
One-
how much
No,
monthly
I
it
was just very surprised.
120, 140 a month ish, like that range. 1,700 for the year. So like
Wow, that's a dream.
it's.
What
I
are
mean,
you-
yeah, and it
You
helps
paid
out.
$1,700 a month.
It
yeah?
covered my my glass to get fixed in the hailstorm.
That's
There
big
you go.
time.
That's clutch.
Did they total your car?
I have not been the most responsible with that, taking care of that.
Me neither, because it's been 4 months or whatever, and I
Yeah.
still haven't got my money.
July
from it.
20th, actually, Chris's birthday. 3 months ago. That's the day it happened.
The
It was on your
hailstorm
birthday.
happened on my birthday.
What a horrible day in history, honestly.
Dude, I know, dude. It sucked.
We should
didn't
just
it?
write it off.
I ain't right back, though. Yeah, dude.
Right off that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I'm probably going to. It ruined my most beautiful
All
possession.
right,
I
okay.
own.
Everybody, remember what happened that day? Close your eyes. 3, 2, 1. It's gone from your mind. Forget anything.
Until
that
I
happened that day.
walk out and see the million dents on my truck.
Or you can like see me and realize that it was my day of birth and see how happy and joyful I am, and you can remember that it was a good day.
Honestly, I liked it better when Noah was holding the microphone.
Honestly, I remember.
Did you forget something out there?
Yeah, actually, I liked it better when like it was mine and Henry's podcast.
Well,
Oh.
it still is. So,
Yeah, maybe you should just leave.
okay. What did you go out there to get? Or were
Don't worry
you
about
throwing
it.
a temper tantrum?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Talk about it later.
All right.
Man, there's been a lot that's been said. I felt like I had something and then I just kept like zigzagging like back and
Oh,
forth.
did
like
you have something to say?
I thought I did, but
Oh,
no, I don't.
You can't get Chris and I going, or else you guys won't talk. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you got to keep our talking
that
interaction.
introvert, extrovert.
It really is.
It is
like,
exactly
dynamic,
pretty bad.
yeah.
Chris and I have probably had more conversations with a tree than you've had with a human in the past 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
Uh,
You wrap anything around that tree?
Yeah, you're talking about you. Really.
just my truck.
So like,
I don't think my car
you
goes fast
remember
enough
like
to do
maybe like 15 minutes ago in the podcast at this point, it was like Man, we were just gonna have like a joking conversation, and it turns out to be super serious.
So
and
now we're at the joking.
Now we're at the jokes.
Absolutely.
Now we're at the joking. I do kind of want to bring back the serious conversation. If that's fine
You
with
got
you.
something in mind?
Yeah.
Like specifically?
Okay.
Yes.
okay.
It's
'Cause I-
about. It's about.
I just want things to get super serious right now.
Yeah. Can we just
I
get
have-
super serious
Somebody's getting serious over here with my leg.
with your hand, or anyway? So, it's about you actually.
Okay.
Can you share some of the thoughts you've been having recently about?
Wait. I don't want to interrupt you. I promise you I don't. However, I have a better question.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to undermine you. Last year, we recorded on your 20th birthday. It was
We
the day
did.
we surprised you with the Pistons tickets.
That was
Oh.
sweet.
You
That
remember
was that's like a top tier memory.
And
sure.
you said...
Didn't we save it till the end of the
Yeah,
podcast?
yeah.
That was sweet.
You said that you were going to journal your whole year of 20 and like take notes and life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You're 21 now.
I am.
It's been a whole 365 days.
I am. I actually did. The journal is almost full. I have a few pages left
Noticed it last week.
that I'm ready to finish up like in the next few days, and then buy a new one to have for 21.
Can you do something for me?
I can
Thank you.
with this response.
Now elaborate.
This past year, honestly, if I had to like sum it up, was just like a year of experience in like mostly negative form, like a lot of like challenges mentally, spiritually, emotionally, like just like praying for things and then like being taught them through life, if that makes sense. Like being like praying for focus, praying for patience, praying for consistency, and like here's what being distracted and inconsistent and like on edge feels like, and like not in a way that I feel like God is like being mean to me, but like loving me enough to like show me how the opposite of the thing that I want is, so that I can appreciate it that much more when it comes through. And I don't think that this year projecting is going to be like super easy, but I think it's going to be like the other half of the circle that was drawn for like what was needed to like happen in my life, if that makes sense.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I don't think you said it was a lot of negative. I don't think there was any negative from this past year, because the conversation you and I had before this podcast makes me think this was your biggest year of growth and realization. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it felt negative, but it might have actually been one of like the biggest positive years for you, because like, and this is what we can talk about this later,
Yeah.
but like you learned a lot even in the past month or two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so like all those negatives, they sucked, but you are growing from them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in reality, it was actually it was unfortunate it had to be positive in that way, but it was positive.
I know what you mean. Like negative isn't the right label to put on it, but like
A learning experience.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Mainly like just to put it in perspective of like it was not necessarily positive in the moment, but like it will allow for the positive things to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really excited. So a lot of that was like with identity and like with who am I, and finding that by way of not knowing who I am, doing things that are not who I am, not in a bad way, but just in a like honestly. So kind of what we were talking about before, where a lot of kids go to college because they feel like the people around them want them to, or like this is my only option. This is like, I don't necessarily know what I want to do with my life, but I'm going to go to college because it's the safety net. I did that to myself, but not really knowingly. And I followed a path that I realized wasn't me. And the reason I wasn't happy wasn't because things weren't working out, but because I was going against like who I am. And like a lot of that was like in pursuing real estate sales was because I was like, man, this is gonna be some quick money, some good money. I'm gonna be able to get my life started and going. I'm gonna be able to get married. I'm gonna be able to like do good in that regard. And then once I get like so accomplished in this so fast, I'll be able to like start being myself. Basically was like what my thought process was without really knowing it. Like without knowing that like it would be that damaging to like put off being myself.
Right.
And I think that was like the biggest thing I've learned from this past year is that like wherever you go, you are still there.
Yeah.
No, regardless of what you are doing.
Yep.
It's like you cannot escape that by finding it in anything else. Even it like that could be like a vice, like the worst of the worst vices you could think of. That could be something that's like positive, like a career. No matter what, if you don't act in alignment with who you are, you're gonna feel very, very off. Even around the people that you love and enjoy the most, it's really hard to like be confident.
Yeah.
If you are continually acting against who you are in an attempt to like please other people. Like it's not worth it. And like the hardest thing is to stop denying that is what's happening.
Right.
That was the biggest thing for me, was that I just denied. I was like, no, like this is not like I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing what's right. I'm doing what God has for me. Like once this works out and once like this money comes through, once the success happens, I'm going to be fine and it's going to be like nothing ever happened. Like I wasn't really struggling with it. Like, but no, like that's not the case. Like that feeling is not going to go away. Like I sold 4 houses. Like this most recent one, like, which is a crazy thing to think about. Like I'm now 21, but like that's crazy that was real.
Yeah.
That happened. And each time the sale was a higher price point.
Yeah.
This last one did nothing for me. I was like, cool, like put that in the bank.
Next.
Like not even like
high.
There was no celebration. There was like, it was like cool. Like, all right. Like,
were you already focusing on like the next thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't even like, because it's not like, it wasn't building on me. It was like, all right, like this is something good that like someone else would be like, oh, cool, you sold the fourth house, like for that conversation. Not anybody specifically, not like that's what I really wanted, but like that being the biggest benefit, because that's what in the end of the day what I was doing. Like it'd be similar like if you were going to college and you passed like semester's over and you got 100% in the class, be like, all right, cool. But then you tell someone, they're, oh, great for you. Like you got 100% in the class. But really all you're doing is suppressing being yourself in an attempt to like avoid that tough conversation of like, I think it's like you would rather succeed at being something that other people are comfortable with you being than fail at being yourself, because that's end of the day that's all you have is yourself. And if you fail at that, then you like, what's worse than that?
Yeah.
But the reality is the faster you fail and the more you fail, the more you learn in order to succeed. And if you do that being yourself, then that much sooner will you succeed at being yourself. So like pushing off being yourself is the worst thing that you could do with your life.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that is like what my last year was.
Yeah. I didn't even know you sold a house.
Really?
I had no idea.
For real?
Yeah. Yeah, because when we talked at the school, I was under, you're like, oh, I got a house coming up showing. Like, I was under the impression you had not sold a house. When we talked last week when you were going to show houses, I was still under the impression that you had not sold a single house.
Oh, wow.
And that's probably because of the way I was talking about it.
Yeah.
Like,
You were like, yeah, I need to get this one sold. You know what I mean?
So, do you feel like as far as real estate goes and as far as selling houses go, do you think that like all right, first house you sold, exciting. Second house, third house, it was exciting. This fourth house that you sold, you said it wasn't exciting for you. Now, is that because you're like, oh, it's my fourth house, or you're like, you're not in love with it? Because like each, I'm gonna just take it to basketball. Each and every like basketball game we won, each of them were special. Like when we went on that 11 game win streak at the end of the season, each and every single game that was special. That's what we loved. We were as a team winning those games, and we never got to a point where it was like meh, you know, which is kind of like what that fourth house sale was. So do you think that fourth house is like you just kind of unwinding with real estate now? Or do you think it's you not being you? Like, because if it's something you're truly passionate about, like this podcast, like, and how we've been more passionate about it, you're like, oh, sick, we get to record the podcast again, except when it's at 7:30 in the morning. Or like, or like when we went to each and every basketball game we got to go play, it was like, sick, we get to go do this as a team. Or like, going to work, you're like, sick, I got to go make more money and do different things like that. Like, did you, like, and so each and every day is like prize. Each time you get to do this, it's special. It's something that you like long to do. And like I feel like the way you were explaining like that feeling when you sold that fourth house is kind of just like bleh.
yeah,
To
like
you.
kind of like
Kind of trying to figure out the question and all that.
I feel like maybe it's like you job, like no job is like super sexy like long term. Like if you
Yes,
think about it,
yes.
like I listened to Paul George's podcast this summer, and the biggest thing that I remember from it was Draymond Green being on the show, and they were talking about how Jokic just won the finals, and he referred to like it being a job, and like he was ready for the break and to enjoy the summer. Even though he just had like one of the greatest seasons of all time, he was like, yeah, no one likes, like, this is a job. Like there's people who like, so anyway, to say that, like, even you think about NBA players getting to play basketball for a living, making millions. Of course they love what they do, but at the end of the day, it is still a job. There's still obligations. There's still time commitments. There's things that are like rough about it. So I don't think there's any escaping that when it comes to a job. But there is enjoyment. Like there are, like, clearly they love what they do in order to like keep working at their craft and like getting better at it. I think it's getting to the point for me where it's like I'm just showing up out of like being a slave to it rather than like being motivated to better myself through it.
Yeah.
That's where I think that feeling comes from. I think either way, you get to the point where things aren't like, there's not that initial dopamine. There's not that like super sexy feeling, super glamorous feeling, super like thrill. Like there's going to be boring things. There's going to be aspects of it that are like tough, but there's like different intentions backing that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like an intention that could be like, I'm doing this out of pure obligation. But it's weird because it's not a job where I have a boss. Like I'm in control. And I've been letting like, oh, if I don't do this, I've been a slave to like the like other people syndrome, like whatever you want to call it. Like not even like specific people, but just like the nature of the industry is that I'm working for myself to basically to do client work. Is client work. It's like you have to get a client and you do work for them. So if I make a transition or I try to change something or I get curious and like try to look into something else, like I'm gonna be less of a person. So it was more of like kind of like just a mental slavery to that, rather than like, okay, this is a challenge, but I'm gonna overcome it. But it's different than a job because it's like self-employed, like you're doing it for yourself. So it's kind of like backwards.
You're still a slave to the system, though.
Right.
Like, you're still showing up. You're still putting in the...
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Like, whereas with this podcast, it's like, I don't feel that at all.
No.
I don't feel that at all. Does that answer your question at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
If I think I understand what you're saying.
When you do anything long enough, it still feels like a job. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You could do this podcast for 20 years, and there's gonna be days where you're like, man, gotta put out an episode this
7:30
week.
in the morning.
Yeah, I don't want to get up and do this. I want to go to bed. It's 12 o'clock
Yeah.
at night. You know what I mean? But it's still a job.
Yeah, and that's what we were put on this earth to do, is to labor into. It's a way to provide, because they're like the measuring tool is money. And you have to work in order to earn money, and we labor in honor of the Lord. That's what we were commanded to do, is to labor. And you like the seeds that you plant, you reap them, whether that's time spent in work or money, like we were talking about earlier, in investments and being wise and steward over that stuff. That's still a responsibility you're always going to have. So I don't know. Different people are in different positions. I'm in one where I'm able to sort of move differently than you know, like we even talked about that on last week's episode. Like, there are people who are older in age who have more responsibilities that their job provides for, that it's like a change or a switch is not going to be as simple as it would be for someone like me, who I do have financial obligations.
But you don't have a wife, a kid, a house, a car payment, like all that stuff.
So there's still like that freedom to find, and I think that this next step that I'm taking is gonna help me unlock that.
Yeah,
and I'm really excited about it.
Cool. Can I ask a question?
Yo.
So, nobody here has gone to college. Everybody has taken the unconventional route. I would say Henry and I are closer to figuring out what long-term looks like, just because we've been out of high school longer.
Yeah.
That being said, still figuring it out. I have a career. Like, electrician is a career. Still don't want to...
It's a cover-up, though.
Yeah, I don't want to do that forever. But, you guys, are you scared or excited or, like, have any thoughts on the future?
I would say more so excited, because we have, like, I know both of us have the opportunity where, like you said, there's no rush.
Yeah.
Like, to figure it out. So I can take as much time as I need, but it's almost weird because there's nothing, like you said, there's always going to be something that's pushing you to take that step forward earlier.
Yeah.
There's nothing necessarily pushing us to do it. So it's kind of like you have to make yourself do it, but I don't have any idea what it's going to look like, but just do my best to keep pushing forward and not get complacent, like you said.
That was, before you hand the microphone away, that was what I was going to ask you, is like, do you have any interests that will push you away,
Honestly,
let's say, from the donut shop into, like, the next future? You know what I'm saying?
Especially when I make myself to, like, everybody there thinks I'm an extrovert. I would not say that at all. Chris would not say that at all. I walked around school, I didn't talk to people at all.
Right.
But, like, I'm good with people, but I wouldn't want to work with them all day.
Yeah.
So I've been told, like, sales stuff. One of my coworkers told me to do not retail. What you do?
Real estate.
Yeah. Thinking of some word. Yeah. But I was like, I don't think that'd be a great fit for me.
Yeah.
But I've always been good with technology. My dad does that, so maybe something like that. But my interest was always, like, if I look at anything I enjoy doing, I've always enjoyed stuff because I enjoy winning. Mm-hmm. Which makes it difficult for me, because I'm like, am I actually going to enjoy this, or do I just enjoy it because I'm good, or because I'm making money from it? So I've been trying to just explore and do a bunch of stuff. That way I figured it out, actually.
A job maybe that's, like, competitive or goal oriented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Rather than like, let's say fast food or something, you're just over and over doing the same thing. If it was something like project based, where you're making, like, you have to do something well, complete a big
creative.
project. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Huh.
Like, not even where I have to come up with the idea, but like making the idea happen or something, being a part of it. I'm done with like not actually doing something with my job, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like, if I don't have an opportunity to do well, I don't enjoy it.
Yeah. Like if there's no growth,
Exactly.
there's no expansion.
Yeah.
Like you look forward.
You wanna
Like
see
where
like
would I be
progress.
if I stayed at
Yeah.
this job in 10 years?
I feel like I always just want to do the best possible.
Yeah.
And if there's no like reward for that, or like I can't even see that I'm doing the best I can, then I don't enjoy it at all.
Yeah. Great answer.
Thank you.
Wait. Let's talk stoic love though.
Oh gosh.
So like what is that to you? Like is that something like I'm interested in a clothing brand?
I think one day I was messing around with it, and like the thing that got me, I think, the most was like, it's a way to spread a message that I believed in, like still do believe in, not believed in past tense, but just like it was really a good way to just spread it while not just being like, for example, I could go out and just make videos talking about what it meant.
Yeah.
But like that would just be, people have to watch that. That wouldn't grow as easily.
Yeah.
I feel like clothing was an easy way to do that.
Right.
Especially if like you're not just, because you see a lot of stuff, people just make t-shirts, throw random words on there, whatever.
Right.
I would want to have it be more so where they like the design, look into it, and then find it, and it's kind of like a rabbit hole to where they get to the message.
Can you explain the message? Because I actually really liked it.
So like stoic love would kind of be like, it's not just like random fleeting emotions, or like, not that you take emotions out of like a relationship. It doesn't have to be like dating. It could be like friendships, whatever. But like, let's say you have a bad day. You're not just going to go home and be like a jerk to your friends or your girlfriend or whatever. Or like, let's say you think somebody's like, if you're in a relationship with somebody, right? And you just randomly in your head, you're like, oh, that person's cute. You're not just going to go tell them they're cute, right? Because you have to like use some common sense.
Right.
You can have emotions, but they need to be like grounded.
Knowing how to control those
Exactly.
emotions in a relationship. Yeah, I like that.
The stoic aspect of the love.
Might I say logic?
Yeah.
Logical love rather than emotions.
But stoic.
Stoic is
But
a
it's
very
stoic.
is a very
Stoic
sound,
is a very profound way of saying it.
Yeah.
It's cooler too.
Oh,
Like if
yeah,
I were to
it's-
choose a clothing company that said logical love or stoic love, I'm picking stoic love all day. Did you come up with that by yourself?
Yeah.
Solid.
Stoiclove.store.
like
It's
it's
one of those nights I was just sitting there.
STOIC
Hit you,
LOVE.
blindsided you.
stoic love YoungBucks collab.
Ooh, oh, that would go hard. And the funniest
Dude,
thing
you
is
shoulda wore your
not even
merch.
holding the microphone.
I actually have thought about that. I was looking into a way to get it to where like you guys could, like an affiliate program.
Yeah.
You know how so you get a percentage of commissions and stuff, but I don't know. I wasn't working on it a lot recently, and then Den, who was on here a while ago, reached out and he's like, "You haven't been doing anything. Like, let me try it out for a bit, and if I get some progress with it, then you have to keep going." And I'm like, okay. So you can see him on there. You'll probably see me a little bit too, but
And where can they find Stoic Love at?
there's a TikTok page, Instagram page, Stoic. I know I'm getting there. Stoiclove.store if you just want to go there, but get some content out. You can see the merch and everything.
Cool.
Yeah, you're saying like I don't know my own store.
Chris is plugging it like it's his brand.
For real. Hey, you want to join?
But like it seems like a legit brand.
Yeah,
Like the name,
it sounds
the
like a
logo.
streetwear
Thing is,
brand.
I hit the part, like, especially of like the TikTok algorithm where I was getting a bunch of views, but like especially to grow the page like that, I was making just like relatable relationship content,
Yeah.
right? And I never like, especially on TikTok, you have to get like 1,000 followers to get a business account, so you can like put the link in the bio,
Right.
And also like TikTok Shop, it wouldn't accept like my ID to set it up, but then I just like I got busy at work and I stopped doing it, which sucks because I felt like I was right at that point. I could get like consistent like 8K views a video,
Yeah.
and then I just stopped posting.
He became a slave to the system.
Yep.
You started doing
indeed.
a job that you don't care about out of necessity.
The thing is, because I was like, my job I start at 3 p.m., right? And I was like, I'll work on it beforehand. That doesn't happen.
Right.
I should have known. I'm not a person who gets up in the morning.
Well, it would probably help if you went to bed before, let's say, 5
Hey,
a.m.
I went to bed at like 1 a.m. the past. I've actually gotten up by 11 most days.
Proud of you.
Which I just want to point out. I asked him what like sleeping into him was, and he said like 9 or 8. Like I didn't even get up that early for church this morning.
That's
I got up
wild.
at like 9:45.
3 clothes on out the door.
Yeah. No, I got in the shower, you know. Even brushed my teeth, which
Can't say that I did that this morning.
It's like every other
other
day.
Yeah.
I struggle brushing my teeth in the morning if I know I'm about to eat something, like on the way to work.
Yeah, that's
Because you
fair.
brush your
It's,
teeth
like,
and then you
pointless
tear
at
into
that
a
point.
breakfast burrito and you're like, this is disgusting because all I can taste is bacon mixed with toothpaste.
I've started a new habit where I throw that out the window. I have one bathroom trip. I brush my teeth after I take a shower, and I eat immediately.
Like right after you brush
Yep.
your teeth,
That's horrible.
I don't care.
just straight out the window.
With the mint in your mouth?
No, it's not that
How
minty.
psychopath? You're not ripping orange juice straight after
Oh,
brushing
no,
your
no,
teeth.
no.
Okay.
Eggs.
Eggs.
Maybe an English muffin, maybe a bagel.
I mean, with how long it takes you to cook your eggs, I can see the mint
Hey,
in your mouth.
hey,
dude.
hey,
Getting
hey.
out of here, out of your mouth by the time you're done with your eggs.
He gets up at 4 in the morning just to leave the house by 10. It takes him 6 hours to make his eggs in the morning.
Would you rather have a McDonald's egg
Yes.
or a gourmet breakfast egg?
Did you really just label your eggs as gourmet?
Not necessarily the taste, but the time and preparation it takes to eat the egg.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The time and preparation does not mean anything to me if it tastes like crap.
Does a McDonald's egg
Can you
taste
make
like
me
crap?
an egg tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we wake up to eggs by our face even though you're leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, you're leaving at 6? I'm not going to be up. Sorry.
I will be up at 6.
No, you won't.
He ain't going to bed.
Exactly. Okay, gotcha.
I'm sitting here and I'm playing Fall Guys.
I'll make some.
Just leave it in the fridge?
Yeah.
All right. I'm joking. I don't know.
I will say my vote's gonna be McDonald's probably, but
I'll just leave it
might
on the
be a
low
little
on the
biased.
stove.
Low
Yours
on
is-
the stove. It's going to be black by the time we actually get out of bed in the
Oh
morning.
yeah.
All right, listen.
I'm gonna
back
pass
to
the mic before I.
What were we talking about?
I wanna hear
gourmet
him.
eggs.
Chris's answer.
Oh,
Can I
okay.
answer one of your questions to Noah real quick?
Yes.
Okay, so to put it in perspective, Noah works at 3, right?
Yeah.
He works from 3 to 11.
Yeah.
When do you work normal day?
7 to 3:30.
7 to 3:30. Boom. You're up 5:45? 5?
4.
You're up at 4? Oh, because
Because we got to get all the way to Detroit.
Sure. So you're up at 4.
Yeah.
Got to be there in the car by
5.
5.
Yep.
Fair. Noah has to be Noah has to be up by 2 for his job at 3, right?
Right?
He has to be in the car by 2:45.
Right.
So he's there. His morning 2 o'clock. Boom. 3 to 11. What does he do from after he gets home from work? He does his normal after work activities like you would do,
Right.
but they're just at a different time. So then he goes to bed at 3, sleeps till 1. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's still 8 hours, but it's just moved back.
I've gotten. This is the most sleep I've ever gotten in my life. I get like 10 hours a night.
So this is my only beef.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you went to bed, let's say because you work till 11, you go to bed later than the normal person.
Yeah.
There's still people that work at 6 in the morning that go to bed at like 12. That's not healthy. You know what I'm saying?
I could never do.
No. But
Well, I
what
did
I'm
for
saying
school,
is if you narrow down your time at night doing meaningless things and got up earlier, I think you would find you'd be more productive.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you narrowed it down to, okay, I get off at 11, takes me 20 minutes to get home. I'm going to have an hour and a half of alone time. I'm going to get up at 9 or 10, right? You're getting a good chunk of sleep and you're going to be way more productive in that time during the day than you would be at night.
What I've been wanting to do, but I kind of just need a day. Like I could do it like tomorrow maybe.
Right.
But because I'll go to the gym after work and I'm there till like 1 or 1:30.
Jeez.
Okay, because I gotta go home, find gym stuff, right? Go over there.
You don't bring your gym clothes?
Not usually.
That would be
Well,
a
I
time-
also usually I go pick up my brother. We go work out.
Okay, gotcha.
But so I'm trying to switch it to like, cause I can't go like if you go at 12, it's just packed. So I've been trying to switch it to go at like 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
But I was having a hard time. I'd go at like 1:30. There's no way I was gonna get up the next day and go at 10:30
Yeah.
and be able to actually like do a good workout.
Right,
So I just
right.
needed like one of my rest days.
Yeah,
to try
yeah.
and switch that over.
I see
So
what,
now
I see
we're
what you're saying.
basically-
Because you're in the cycle
Yeah.
right now. So you have to take a break from the cycle
We're
to switch
just gonna
to the new
see
cycle.
if I can actually get up and go to the gym tomorrow.
All right, bet. I like it.
But
Okay.
yeah, there you go. I'm making that commitment.
Tomorrow
going
you're
to the
not
gym
going.
tomorrow?
No, tomorrow you're
Are
not
you
going
coming to
because
the
we're
gym?
hanging out with the boys.
That's fair.
Boys hang out at the gym?
I will not be going to
Gym?
the gym in the morning.
Come on. That's not even the morning to you. That's like after your lunch break.
We'll think about it.
Gains?
I have no clothes to wear, and I can't fit in either one of your clothes to wear
You
at the
can
gym.
fit in these.
I will not be wearing
Mark's
those
got
shorts to the
clothes.
gym.
Mark does. Mark's also
All
like
right, we'll talk
5'8".
about this later. Not a
What do
podcast
you-
conversation.
What do you do after work, outside of work?
Work.
How does that work for you in the in the other departments of life?
Okay, so my main problem is if I don't work after work, I do end up spending meaningless time doing meaningless things. That is a struggle of mine. I am not at a point in my life where I'm willing to dedicate a gym membership because it could get to the point where I'm at now where even if I do electrical all day, I can still come home and have work to do at my building. But like that being said, just starting like push-ups, sit-ups, that type of thing at my house, like I could do that. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
Right now, like if I were to go do electrical tomorrow, I'm not. But if I were, I still have work I can do at my building at home until like 9, eat, shower, go to bed.
Do you work out of avoidance?
Yes. I do find that when I work, I have less time to spend alone with my thoughts. And that is a thing I struggle with because the only way to fix the mental problems that I have is to spend time thinking about them and how to fix them. And I'm too scared to spend that time thinking about them. And so, yes, work, when I do have mental health problems, work becomes an escape for me. Not a good escape, a bad escape.
Because you're like, oh, I'm being productive. I'm making money.
Right.
You're
And
just pushing it off.
yeah, I'm just pushing off the things I should be thinking about. And I just go to work, turn on a podcast, turn on music, like I'll still have thoughts, but it's not like deep enough where I was like sitting at home at my apartment doing something, thinking about it, So like, yeah, that is a problem because when I am struggling mentally, I go to work so I don't have to think about it. And that is not helping the situation. That is in
No.
fact making it worse.
Yes.
Do you think if you were working and not listening to stuff, it would help you be able to think? Because I found myself when I was working, like building different things like that. Obviously, I was focused, right? I'm not gonna like mess up and not be focused, but I did find myself thinking, And so like when I'm doing my thing, like you're in there putting conduit in, fishing some wires through some spot and cutting up some wires or whatever it is, plugging up some plugs.
That was pretty good.
Thanks. And like, you're doing that. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of people working, but like you're doing your thing by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like that is time with your thoughts. And I mean, obviously if that makes you unproductive at work, obviously.
I think
but
that is it.
you have ADHD.
I think that I don't have the ability to focus on my thoughts and my work. And I think that a podcast. So a good thing for me is I need to be doing something while I'm doing something. Do you understand what I'm
I do.
saying? Like if I'm sitting somewhere, I'm fidgeting. And that fidgeting is actually helping me focus. Okay? So having music going in the background, having a podcast going in the background helps me focus. I think spending time with no music or podcast would get me in my thoughts, and I don't think it would help me be productive at work.
Okay.
I think the key is being willing to spend that time outside of work to think about it. I think that's where it's at. But yeah.
I've definitely had days where like you just go home and like I've stared at a wall for 3 hours.
That's
And, like,
wild to me.
Here's the thing though, because I learned over the years to get comfortable doing that because like I was at a point I didn't know how to deal with stuff. I know how to deal with it more now.
Yeah.
And like at the end of it, you feel so much better once you've just thought through like everything that's bothering you.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know you probably don't even have that much time.
But could
like-
make the time.
To stare at a wall for 3 hours?
Yeah.
No,
That's
okay,
what I'm
I can
saying,
make the
like-
time during my drive.
There you go.
I'm
yeah.
at minimum driving 35 minutes a day.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Instead, music,
Or just even like
classic
have to
rock,
just
morning
stare at a
radio.
wall.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like journal it down or something.
I
That way
did-
you can think through it when you have time.
100%. What?
Nothing.
Like a morning radio show? That's what I was saying. I think I heard a guy say that like if you can't spend 30 minutes with your own thoughts, then you need to spend that 30 minutes with your
That's
own
the thing.
thoughts.
It was like the first time I like ever, especially like I would try to sleep before school.
Yeah.
And my thought was like the earlier I go to sleep, the faster I get to school. So I wouldn't go to sleep because I didn't want to go to school.
Right.
And so I would just stare at the ceiling eventually.
Yeah.
And eventually I just got used to it. But it's like, that's like a terrifying thought at first. I'll
Yeah.
admit. But
Oh.
like once you get used to it, it definitely helps.
So you're saying it helped you?
Once you get through it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would like have someone to talk to though. Like
Yeah.
have that set up because you don't want to like get in your own thoughts and not be able to get out and have nobody there for you.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's a horrible place to be.
Referring back to the Solitude podcast series I was listening to, he said that he was on a men's retreat with his son, or maybe they were just by themselves, like on a retreat. I don't know, but he asked him, like, what causes you to have fear the most, and he said like being alone without like something
Yeah.
else, like being alone in my own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're in a generation where there's a lot of noise all the time. TVs, phones in the hand, radio. You can't escape the opportunity to have noise going on.
Yeah.
So you don't deal with yourself. It is a trend. I don't know if you guys, this made it to you guys. I posted it on Facebook because I was like, this is crazy. It is a trend to go on a silent walk. Like that is something that people are doing. It's like, I went on a walk without my phone.
That
Like-
is
That's
wild.
crazy.
Without like having like texting and they're like, it was super freeing. You guys should try it. I call it the silent walk.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and it's like silent walk taking over TikTok.
Yeah.
Like Gen Zers taking silent walks to like do like to get away from the screens.
And it's wild because I say that's ridiculous, but that's something I should do.
Right.
Because I get home, I live alone, don't live at home with my family, nobody to talk to, and instead of thinking, all right, let's turn on an episode of Friends, or let's, turn on a YouTube video or turn on a podcast, you know what I mean? And I don't
Yeah.
spend that time.
Because in the moment you're like, I'm gonna just kick this on real quick and
Yeah.
like, then I'll eat and then I'll go to bed. But like just continually, you're just building a snowball of the less time you spend with yourself.
Yeah. I'd struggle talking about it like with people too. Like
Right now? Do
no,
you feel like you are?
no. But like I'm also not opening up right now.
Yeah.
When-
Surfacey.
Yeah, when I like I would say I struggle with depression, which I hate saying because I feel like mental health is like this big. You know what I'm saying?
You don't
like
want to
it's
victimize yourself.
yeah, and
but
it's popular.
Kind of what the best term to describe it
Yeah.
as.
Like, and it's like a popular thing right now. Like, oh, I'm depressed. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I would say that I most definitely am, and like, I have had breakdowns in front of my mom, and even then, she'll be like, "Well, what can I do to help?" And I like won't talk about it. I'll just close up, and like, that's something I need to figure out for myself is how to talk about it.
Maybe just like label it as like you have like depressing thoughts.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, yeah.
necessarily like
Depression.
you are depressed. Like in
Yeah,
an
yeah.
identity standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
like you are who you are. You're just having depressed thoughts. You're just experiencing sad things.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily like you are identifying it.
Oh
as.
yeah. No, that's a good point.
Like it's like, I think that is something like agenda wise is sold, is like casting identity, like you are depressed. Even like what we talked about this last week, we don't have to get into it, but like you are gay, you are trans, you are like whatever these things are, and you begin to define it as how a person is, then you believe it,
Yeah.
and then like that's just who you are.
Yeah.
And then they sell on like, this is how you get over depression and have peace.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say I'm depressed all the time.
Yeah.
But the reason I do say I struggle is because even when everything is going right in my life, I'm happy, doing my devotions, all that stuff. I still have like those super dark thoughts. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I would label it as like I do have like there's something not right, but like I have those thoughts. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's like a spiritual war.
Yeah. It's wild.
Internally.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because you're not like a super deep person when you hang out with you. Like you're super like, you guys both went backwards.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was doing it.
I think you did it after me.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't. I was looking at you the whole time. Just decided to flip it around. I look over. He's got it. Anyways, keep going.
See, like that's what I mean. Like you're just like super light, super like spirited, super energy.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting to think of you or like just hear you talk about yourself like you have a lot of depth in your mind.
I think my aunt said this, and I totally denied it. My personality is caused by a lot of insecurities. And I feel nobody would ever assume that I've struggled with being depressed.
No, not at all.
Not in the slightest.
And it's because in my mind, over the years, I've built up the reputation of being the fun, make everybody laugh type of guy, right? In my mind, that's my responsibility now. I'm not allowed to be sad or talk about how I am sad.
Or just like chill.
Yeah, no. But like, I would say like people have said before, oh, Kyle surprised me. He has a lot of depth. And I would say that I do have a lot of deep thoughts and stuff, and I'm just scared to talk about them.
So do you feel like a day like today where like, yeah, I mean, you're spending time with us or like the time with the family when they were here, is that draining you now?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so like
My mom used to get mad at me because she'd see me at school be super excited and energetic, and I would get not mad. Let me take that back. She wouldn't get mad at me, but she would ask me, "Why do I see you at school being a crazy person? You come home and you don't want to talk." It's because when I'm around people, I expend 100% of my energy.
So
Is that what you were asking?
You're introverted then.
No, I can elaborate on what Kyle was saying because I'm the same way. Like once I'm around people, I think from the extroverted mindset, when you're around people, it like I know exactly what you're talking about. Like you feel not like necessarily like you have to make people laugh or you have to like be someone who you're not, but just like you like people. You like to like interact with people. You like the emotion that it gives you, and like doing that is good.
Yeah.
And so it exhausts you.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is exhausting being us, but like not in a bad way, but I understand what you're saying.
I think it starts with having a slightly more outgoing personality, like
Right.
you and me, compared to, let's say, them two. We just talked about this, like extroverted, introverted. We started with a slightly more outgoing personality, and as the years went by, Chris and I developed the reputation as being super energetic, outgoing, making people laugh, whatever you want to call it. And so now that is our job when we're in a group of people, per se. But like you said, because of that, we expend 100% of our energy. And I will go all day until bedtime doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But once that time hits, you're
Stop
done.
it, Henry. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's crazy is though, I
Hey,
think
if
like
I could, what's crazy? I can't do one-on-one conversations. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Small talk, terrible at it. I cannot do small talk one-on-one conversations. I'm so bad at it. That's why I'm terrible on the podcast most times.
You are. That's actually
Like,
crazy. I was about to say that.
Freaking,
You're not terrible. I take
when
that
I
back.
was dating, like I was bad at one-on-one conversations. Like it's bad. I'm
Yeah.
terrible at small talk.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
But like nobody expects.
Great at small talk.
No. Nobody expects out of them what they expect out of us.
Right.
Like when I am not super energetic, people are like, something wrong. You know what I mean? Nobody expects that out of them. When they're not super energetic, they're like, oh, that's just Henry and Noah.
Shoot.
You know what
and
I'm
they're
saying?
normal, having a great day.
Yeah.
Or a
What are you
terrible
laughing
day.
at
We don't
right
know.
now?
This is just connecting the dots for me. So you two have very similar makeups. Me and Noah have similar makeups. You two are both saying like you're growing up as like the life of the party. Like you guys have a big like personality, a big presence. Like, oh, Kyle's gonna be there. Oh, Chris is gonna be there. Like that's sick. Like they're gonna like kind
Bring it
of
here to here.
Yeah.
kind of just like be the energy in the room. Whereas like, and now you're getting to the point where it's like you guys don't necessarily want to match that so much. Like you want to be like lower, and like from what you said about being at work, like people think you're extroverted. Like in the restaurant industries that I've worked in, like that brings out more of my personality, and then I think people think that about me too, because it's like you talk to them. So like I was very, very shy, like in like the times where you guys were both very, very like boisterous, energetic,
Go for it.
loud. And I like he was the same way, because I rarely heard you talk throughout the
Exactly.
years. Like every time you came over to hang out with Chris, like middle school, high school, I don't know if I ever heard Noah talk.
No.
But now that he's out of high school, like we've talked a lot more, and he definitely has more of a personality. You definitely have more of a personality, and like that kind of happened for me too. So like now we're kind of like taking into that, like not necessarily that we're always extroverted, but like having more of that like comfortable personality where you guys want to like retract more. So it's interesting to hear that like that's like how the four of us have
Yeah.
experienced that. Like two of us have seen it this way, two of us have seen it this way, and it's been the same for like each group.
Just different
Yeah.
growths.
Yeah,
Grow
yeah,
down,
yeah.
grow up. Yeah.
It's 100% the opposite, because like I would have moments at school where like I would be like energetic or happy, and they're like, "Are you good?" Like,
Right.
yeah,
right.
I'm like,
That's wild.
I'd be like, "You're being weird today." I'm like, "My bad, I didn't mean to be happy."
sorry,
like-
I'm happy
I
today,
didn't
guys.
make to laugh a lot
Yeah.
at this
That's
joke.
why I got like when I went to a job, it's like I don't know anybody here. They don't like have an expectation for me.
They don't know me, son.
literally. Yeah, though it's being out of
Shut
high
up,
school.
Chris.
Whoa, there's something wrong with Henry today.
Yeah,
Being
just
out of high
being out
school,
of high
what?
school, very freeing.
Yeah.
because I don't have to, especially in a art like a small school. It's literally the same expectations for 12 years. Like,
Yep.
it's great to not have people just expect me to be a certain way.
And in the same perspective, or I mean, different perspective, same answer. It's freeing. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to. I went into a job. No one, like, I was high school. I walk into the room. Oh, Chris is in the room. You walked in the room. Oh, Kyle's in the room. Walking on the job site. Who the heck is this kid? He's here with his construction hat, with his hammer, like half hanging out of his pants. Like, who is this kid?
Right.
Doesn't know how to drill in a hole, whether it's going front or back. Like,
Right.
Like, nobody knows who I am.
I
Like, I'm
think-
just this child.
Unfortunately, I carried the same personality into my job. Like one day I was quiet and this kid was like, "Dude, you good?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm just in my own thoughts right now."
Nice,
And
dude.
he was like he told me later he thought I was mad at him because I wasn't like being crazy.
Like on your first day?
Interesting.
No.
You're
No.
just saying you went into the job at like not. You went into the job loud, like normal Kyle,
Still brought the energy.
and then one day you were like
Yes.
thinking to yourself, keeping to yourself, and he was like, "Yo, what's wrong?" With
I was mad about something, but like I was
Yeah.
just not talking, and he thought I was mad at him, and I was like,
You
no,
weren't.
I was like, I just wasn't talking, like I just was not in the mood,
Mm.
and so I don't know, it just kind of stinks,
Mm.
and I think my desire to try or my feeling of the need to try to be that guy, you know what I mean, causes me to say things I regret, say inappropriate comments, or be annoying because I'm trying always to get the laugh or something like that. You know what I mean? That I just realized that. That's
Nice.
what like gets me in trouble is like I'm just trying to make everybody happy and it ends up hurting. You know what I'm saying?
Hurting you.
Yeah,
in
because
the
I'll be
long
loud
run.
and obnoxious and people are
Right.
like, "Oh, I'm kind of tired of Kyle."
I've started to see that. Like, I feel like I am becoming more logical with how I do things.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the other perspective now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what's your guys' ideal setup then?
Well, so as far as like when I'm around people, like when I'm at the party that we were just like hanging around everybody, like I love like people. I love being around people. I love to entertain people. I know that like I have that niche and I love people. I love just like being social. And so I'm always going to try and be social above all, you know? Like
Okay.
I like being like at the party, life at the party, like that kind of thing, right? What it isn't is like overdoing it to a point where it
Yes.
exhausts you.
Yes.
Because we can go party with them, and then I'm here with the boys. We can play MLB The Show. I can get hyped when I beat Kyle of 2-run home run being the Tigers when he's got an all-99 overall squad.
Okay.
And then I can go to Speedway. Then we can have podcasts where we're hype and energetic. Then we can go to bed. And then, you know? And so, like, that's energy all day, and, like, that's happy.
I think my ideal scenario is still bringing that energy, but dialing it back and taking away. I think it would make me more likable if I took away like going too far to make it annoying or saying something I shouldn't say. You know, I think that's my
Yeah.
ideal scenario is, and I have like since high, I do not claim myself before the age of 21 as being me. That wasn't me. Like high school, freshman year of college, not me. You understand what I'm saying? But like I have been able to mature and make. I would like to do it more.
Yeah.
I still say things and I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I would still like to be able to dial that back.
I'm finding
Okay.
that maturity at 18 as well. Like I feel like we're going through the same thing, but just
Oh, it took
I'm
me
at
way longer to
18
get
and-
there.
yeah.
I'm at 24.
yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's true.
You know, Noah said this earlier that you're closer to 30 than you are to us, me and him.
It's about the halfway
Anyway,
point.
as you were going.
I think especially like
okay.
what would help you, like, do you feel as tired, let's say, talk or just being like hanging out with Chris as you do just in a full group?
No, 'cause we have it all.
That's what I would think having somebody else who brings that same energy.
Oh, yeah,
helps you, 'cause
100%.
you reciprocate it back and forth
Yeah.
rather than trying to entertain a bunch of introverts. if that makes
Everybody
sense.
by yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that just sounds exhausting to me trying
Yeah.
to do that. But when it's like us four, I have a great time. I feel like I can talk a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Us at school, whenever me and Kyle saw each other at school, like after
I
graduated,
graduated.
was like everybody knew where we were in the building.
I'd walk around the corner and it'd immediately be, "Oh, dude, what's going on, dude?" That's like, every time. That's what would happen every time. I could be
All
100
the way
yards
down the
away on
hall.
the other end of the school, and it'd be the same reaction.
and we would do it to each other.
Yep, because we both had the same energy.
I don't think I could do that. Like, just like yell across the building, like, "Yo, what's up, man?" Like, I would just like, it was good.
And the funny thing is, when I hear somebody else do it, I'm like, man, they're annoying. Right?
Man, they suck.
No,
What are they
literally.
doing that for?
Like, I don't like loud people.
No, a
I
lot of
can't
people
handle
suck.
it.
Like, it steals your thunder, or
No,
like,
no, no.
No,
Like,
it's just annoying.
it bothers me, and I don't know why, because I am that person.
No, 100% feel you.
In my defense,
I hate you.
I hate you too. In my defense, I'm a little hard of hearing, and I think that makes me bring my voice up. But like when I hear somebody being
What?
loud and obnoxious, when I hear somebody being loud and obnoxious, it like I can't. I'm like, that's enough. I'm done. That on that note, I gotta go to the bathroom. So you guys keep going.
I lost my hat. My hat
You
fell
can turn
off.
the mic off if you want.
Or you can give it to Noah.
It's true. You could give it to Noah.
You can give it to Noah.
feels good.
Would you snag a water for me when you come back?
Yeah, where are they at?
Garage.
Garage.
Thank you.
We just have nothing else to talk about.
No, you know what's
Yeah,
crazy? What's crazy? I'm so happy that it happened the way that it did. But like Kyle asked us both a question, you answered it, and then like I didn't think we were ever gonna get back to it.
No.
Like me answering
What
the
was
question.
the original?
I don't know, and I don't think
He
does
asked
either.
us because somehow we got on Stoic Love. You never. I don't even think you answered that.
No, I didn't.
It was in regards to like what.
We're not gonna answer it till he gets back.
Yeah. But it was like, couldn't you see yourself pursuing something you're interested in right now? Like, what's that next step, or like what's that next move? Which that's the reason I brought up the Stoic Love, is
And
because
then-
it's like you're doing that right now.
And then I started talking about Noah's sleep schedule,
Yeah.
and then
And
So
then we
you
talked about
went
his
into Henry's
work.
sleep schedule, and then wow.
So until he gets back, now that he's gone, do we actually think he's annoying because he's loud?
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm just playing. We love.
I'm
Kyle.
not gonna lie, bro. There was days because like senior year, I did not enjoy at all.
No, you
okay?
didn't.
I was like pissed off every day because of certain things. But you like, I'd be because you were like the only person I would talk to half the time.
Yeah.
I'd walk down the hallway and you would just like randomly see him in sprint and be like, "Yo, dude!" And I was like, "This kid needs to shut the heck up. My head hurts. I want to go sleep. I have to go to basketball practice."
Not playing homecoming.
Literally.
Yeah, dude. That's me and Kyle. It's just always been an interesting dynamic because mainly our energy comes from when we're both at the school. Because even after I graduated, I went to go pick up Duke one day, and Kyle was at the school, and I walked in, and the same thing happened. I saw him across the school. He saw
Yep.
me. We made eye contact. Instant noise. It's just,
I do feel that whenever I go back to the school, it's like we go back into those old things. Like when I went to go back to watch a soccer game, I went to the other fan section, sat at the end, and didn't talk to anybody until they come up to me.
speak to anybody. And I walked in and had a freaking line waiting for me.
Yeah, I saw you coming at the entrance and I didn't see you for an hour.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know that Kyle has ever annoyed me.
Really?
Yeah, honestly.
I can't really think of a time where he did. Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't think you've ever annoyed me.
We were seeing if you
Only
were
just when I have a
actually
headache in school. I think it was if I wasn't part of the conversation. Like if you're part of the conversation, it's always fun. But when people are loud and you're like not having fun from it,
That's
not
what
great.
what you said that I like. That's what I always want.
Hold up, did you turn the mic back on? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I always like try to do is bring people into the conversation, because like I would always like be in a group and then there would be like you not talking, or like women not talking, or like me and you would just like have a conversation, and like there would be bystanders, and I'd be like, oh, I mean, like they're just standing there being kind of awkward. I want to bring them in,
I do struggle though when it's a group of people and we're having group conversation and
Getting to
somebody
everybody.
makes it a one-on-one conversation.
That's why I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, bro, this is great. Can we talk about this when we're not with all the homies? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I struggle getting out of conversations.
Henry's terrible with it. Henry's the worst.
I'm getting better though. I
You are.
really am getting better.
I hope.
I'm hurting feelings. I'm taking, like, I'm just like, yo, I gotta go.
Sometimes you just gotta walk away.
No, but
Just be like, see you. Go.
sometimes they walk backwards in front of you and keep speaking all the way to your car.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I'm not gonna comment any further past that.
I'm gonna just take the mic from you on that one, just so you don't speak. So
No, that is annoying.
You remember that question you had for me and Noah?
Yeah. What? Okay, so are you excited for the future? Are you scared for the future? Do you need to get up and check that?
I was just trying to see if Chris was still in frame.
I'm
I
always
feel
in
like
frame.
I'm not in frame half the time, but
You definitely are.
Am I? Oh my gosh.
I can't see you.
It's
Chris,
Chris's-
you're like low key. You're right on the edge, so don't go that way.
All right.
Okay, so here we go.
Question.
Definitely don't answer it like that.
Moving forward in
definitely.
life, you chose not to go to college. Union. You want me to ask a question or you don't want me to ask a question?
Tune into the YouTube video. That's all I gotta say.
Moving forward, are you scared? Are you excited for your next chapter? Are you feeling the pressure of trying to figure out what you need to do with your life? Like what does it look like moving forward for you?
So, I hate to say this. Can we take a step back?
Yeah.
So, when I was a senior in high school, I was very excited for the future. I was ready to get out. I was ready to start my life. I was ready to
I think we all were.
do what?
I think we all were.
I'm ready. I was like, I had this plan set up in my mind,
Yeah.
and most people on the show could figure that out that are listening. And the plan never goes the way you think it's gonna go.
No.
And
Almost the opposite.
and it's always the opposite, basically every time. And so I was scared.
Master electrician.
I was scared of
crazy.
what like might happen, what did happen, and then like I found this.
All right, we just had to fix another technical difficulty with the camera, turn it off, but it's back on now. So we're able to finish this one out on video, not audio only. Because that was what it was headed towards. If we
Should
couldn't
we
get that back on.
just backtrack to Kyle
gonna-
asking the question?
Jump right back into it. No,
100%.
this is what we're going to say. I asked Chris if he was excited, scared, whatever, looking towards the future, being young, just graduated from high school last year. You had just said, going through high school, I had a plan. Life never goes as planned. I was excited for the future out of high school, though. Go ahead.
So, I definitely found a lot of guidance, and I always found construction was the way to go, and so I joined the union, right? And
Solid option.
that's honestly, whether I'm like actually working, doing side hustle, whatever it is, I'm probably gonna stay in the union because I can be retired in 30 years.
Right.
Sounds great. So I want to stick with that for at least for now. And I mean, once I'm in for 5 years, I'm probably going to be in the rest of my life. So I am excited because I want to do a lot of things. I just don't know how long term I'm thinking right now. That's the one thing I can't get a grip on is what I'm thinking long term and how I'm thinking long term. The one thing that I know is that like I want to get married and have a family, and that shouldn't be top of my mind right now, but it is. But I don't
Yeah, you're
have
pretty young.
a girlfriend, and I don't have a girl,
And you're 18.
and I'm 18. You know,
Okay, so let me ask a question. What is your goal in working?
I think my goal in working is to just have a sustainable income for now. Because, I mean, the pay is great. The benefits are great. Even though, in reality, it's all money that I'm working for. Like, no matter if I see it now or I see it in 30 years, I see it in a check that comes in the mail every twice a year, you know? That's still money I'm making that's coming out of my paycheck that I'm just getting at different times. So, I guess just the sustainable income for now. That's my goal, because like I guess that's not really a goal.
You mean like what does he want? What do you want to accomplish?
So this is what I'm getting at, is our conversation before the podcast.
This isn't my snow globe.
Yes. What is... So I love having...
Can I be honest with
Yeah.
you?
You don't know.
No, I think I do know.
And that's the
I think
scary
it's
part.
I think it's some sort of ministry. I'm not
Really?
even lying. I think it's the podcast. I think it is. I truthfully do.
So
And I don't know for sure. And I think that's why I'm doing construction. I think it's the ministry opportunity.
Okay. Do you view the construction as like a good plan until you figure out what is your snow globe?
I also do
Okay.
think that.
I love talking about this. Like, I have a friend who knows he can name the fourth string running back of the Jets. You know what I mean?
Jameson Crowder?
Shut up. It's not him. But, like, I'm sitting there and he works a 9 to 5, and, like, it's not like he hates his job. But I'm like, why? This is funny coming from me, and I go to electrical every day, and I wake up before I am and hate that I have to go to work. I told him, I was like, why? Like, why are you not pursuing something in that? Like, if you know every player in the NFL on every roster, why are you not trying to do something with that? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I love talking about that.
Clearly, there's interest.
Yeah.
I think we're all experiencing that. Like, clearly, everyone has said something about the fact that we are doing something in order, like, we're avoiding dealing with ourselves. Whether it's
quit down us tomorrow, dude. Stop doing real estate. Quit your license.
Taking the time to have
job.
like time to listen to yourself speak, or time to think about like what you're actually interested in. Both of you, all
four
three of us, all four of us. And I mean, yeah,
I do not want to do electrical for 30 years.
it's all coming down to the same thing, and it's like exploring that possibility is like it's almost better as a fantasy than it is like how do you really deal with that.
Yeah, and I think it's good we're figuring it out now.
On this podcast.
I have a cousin who's figuring it out now, and he's like 30 something. You understand what I'm saying?
There's timelines to it.
Yeah, and like you said, like if my dad were to take a jump into something he wanted to do, there's a lot more consequences if it doesn't work. Because, like you said earlier, wife, kids, mortgage, car payment. You know what I'm saying? So it's good we're figuring it out now, especially you guys. Like, I don't have a lot going on, but still, like, if I don't get a paycheck, rent's still coming. You know what I mean? You guys, you're living at home right now. You're 18. You know what I mean? Like, you have a lot of time to figure it out. Got merch? I don't know what that has to do with it, but
we got it.
We do have merch. 4 merches, 5. But yeah, I think it's good you're figuring it out now. It is scary though. Like, I don't want to do electrical forever.
Truthfully, I don't want to do construction for 30 years, even though pension, great.
Yeah.
Life, great. You know, I don't want to do that. I don't think.
Yeah, it's like, but are you willing to figure out and make the leap to what you do want to do? Like, if I made the leap right now, it would be pretty detrimental to where I'm at in life right now. But in 20 years, it could be better for me.
Yeah, I think the instant gratification is a part of it too. Like, okay, these jobs, you know, they bring this money, and then distraction occurs as well, like away from pursuing, you know, what it is that we are interested in that could, you know, get out of that situation that is currently sustaining your financial like situation.
Right.
It's tough.
It is tough.
But that's what makes it worth it.
Yeah, 100%. Taking the risk.
No risk, no reward.
Good point.
I said it right before the show. Right before I freaking set up that camera. That's
really?
what I said.
You did, too.
I did say that.
We were sitting right there, and you were setting it up. Yeah, actually, you know what was nice?
Oh, my gosh.
Change of events. You and I got to sit around while Chris set up the podcast.
Wow.
First time ever. To me being part of the crew, and we had to set up the whole thing while Chris watched TikToks on his phone.
That happened every single week.
Literally sitting in a lawn chair.
Every week.
Nah. And Henry are like, all right, can you move? Can you adjust?
Yeah, I was the placeholder, so they
that's what
level.
he claims, so he acts like he wasn't doing. You know what I mean? So
Chris
he was
has definitely upped his game in his participation level outside of showing up to the show to not ask me questions or listen to what I have to say to him.
Good. Good.
Still don't know what I want to do with my life, but hey,
None of us
I'm
do,
up to the
man.
podcast.
None of us do.
I think another thing is like, school is good in aspects. The worst aspect of school is that it teaches you to solve a problem for the correct answer. There are no correct answers.
Yeah.
Like there is no right
There is
path.
no right answer.
There is no test. There is no textbook for this that we all can like glean to find the answer. Well, I guess there's the Bible, but like
Right.
in a very practical, like, what do I do with my week this week? What do I do with my month? What do I do at this age? What do I do like with this relationship, with this like habit that I want to build? There's no like textbook for your exact precise situation, but that's what we grew up for 18 years and maybe even 4 more or 8 more, depending on what college or career you chose. There is no like correct, like you're going to get the quiz, you're going to put this answer down. You just have to live and make adjustments.
It's trial and error.
Yeah.
Your future boss told me he learned more in his first year of owning his own business than he learned in 4 years of business school.
Wow.
And it just goes to show, like, you may know the right answer, but when it applies to real life, it might not apply to your real life. You know
That's
what I mean?
why
Everything's based off experience. You just got to do it. That's why you're
100%.
doing electrical. That's why you're doing real estate. That's why you're doing a donut shop. That's why I'm doing construction. You know, it's
I don't mean to diss you.
I
The way
also
you
don't.
say donut shop is the most
I
demeaning
promise
thing.
you I
That's why
don't.
you're working at the donut shop.
I'm sorry.
I don't mean to be demeaning.
I was not meaning that in that way. I promise you, as your best friend, I promise.
Hey,
you.
in his
That's
defense,
exactly why you would say it like that.
in his defense, he works at the best donut shop. All right, we got to give him creds there.
Yeah, none of us are
What do you
really
mean it's
above the
girlfriend?
rest because we all are currently doing something that is not what matches our own expectations.
Go for it.
ourselves.
Also, you're the only one who doesn't own a car.
Oh, facts, Noah.
Low-key, I thought about that earlier in this episode when we were roasting him about how his car broke.
Right.
I was like, "Dang, I'm the only one that doesn't."
Like, yeah, I'm
buy my
driving
own car
Daddy's
yet.
Jeep Wrangler around, so I can't really talk.
I'm actually in the process of buying a car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Mainly, I have the money to do it.
Gotcha.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
And so I finally looked at my cash in hand and looked at the money in my bank account that I've been saving up, and I was like, you know what? It's time. Let's go search.
Can I give you advice?
Buy a Toyota.
Nah, I'd keep driving the Wrangler.
Oh.
As long as you don't have to pay for a car, don't pay for a car.
Oh, so just keep saving money.
100%.
All right.
I would stay living at home too. I should not have. It was good for me to move out.
Yes, it was.
That being said, like I look at my buddy who's been living at home for a while. You got a lot more money in the bank account than me. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
You needed it.
But you really, if you have
Which
a
buddy?
car, can't say.
No, I'm playing.
If you have a car,
Pass the test.
keep driving that.
All right. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Camera overheated again. We may not be on video. We're definitely not. So
Oh,
we're
it's
just
fine.
gonna
Can
finish
we
this
just
off audio.
Can we just run an audio?
Yeah, we're gonna
Alright.
just run it audio.
well, if you think if you think about it, like the way that Henry didn't even buy a car until he was 20 and
True.
a half.
True.
You know? Noah's beating you there. Kyle had his cars, multiple.
I think I bought my.
He
first
bought the
car.
Red Rocket
I
3
bought the-
times.
I did buy the Red Rocket 3 times, and I bought it at like 17 or 18. So
I think, and you had that one car that
the neon.
got absolutely
Hey, like
destroyed.
Kyle said earlier, just compare
That was
you
a
to
birthday-
you.
Yeah, compare you to you.
Noah, you bought a car at 18.
True. It still works. So.
We got live in this up. It died after the camera died.
Oh, like the energy
the
level?
mood.
Well, look at
definitely
how
took-
we're sitting.
Yeah, I will let you guys know since we're not on video anymore. The dynamic has really changed on the podcast as soon as that camera died.
I was kind of looking forward to the camera. We should have gotten a yawn counter, bro. I
Dude,
saw,
yawn
like,
counter
you-
was
you
going
and
crazy.
you yawned, and then I
Yawn
yawned,
counter
I
was
like,
going crazy.
I mean,
That happened.
we are
Oh
clocking
my
at 2:21
goodness.
a.m. Monday,
That
October
thing's
30th.
about to go off again.
This is certainly the best podcast episode
It's
we've
been
ever done,
Very.
without a doubt.
You
It's,
actually think so?
Without
as
a
far,
doubt, I rock with the 4-person setup. I'm not even gonna lie.
Are
to
we?
you.
It's kind of lit.
Are we speaking of stop signs?
No, we're not speaking to stop.
Okay.
Are we
What did
speaking
I
to stop? Well, I know
Nobody listens to
neither
the
of you
episode.
know because the way we end our episodes now, I don't know what episode it was, but we did the red draft at the very end of our episode, and I drafted stop signs as one of my red items, and then I was just like, and speaking of stop signs, we're ready to wrap up today's episode. Like, thank you guys for listening. Whatever, close it out. So now Chris will bring it up and he'll say, "See, speaking of stop signs," I'll be like, "Yep," and so we just close
That's
it
our
out.
cue.
It's not stop sign time
It's
though.
not okay.
Yeah.
He's enjoying opening.
I did have a thought though.
Lay it on us.
If Noah and I were to go up to the bike race,
Sure.
I like this. thought.
you would be exhausted, but we could run a 4-man post bike race
That would go
podcast.
crazy.
Whoa.
At 2:00 in the morning in the car.
That would go crazy.
That would go crazy.
That would be like live update of the
Nah,
bike
dude.
race.
Nah, dude. Right after you get off the bike.
No, stop
Freaking
it.
hit record. Like Jake Paul and
I'm
Logan
pretty
Paul after
sure-
they fight.
I'm
and then
pretty
they
sure
run
Bell
an
would
episode of
actually
Impulsive.
never talk to us ever
You could
again.
bring the camera and like get me.
Oh, I'm
crossing the finish
definitely
line.
gonna.
No, honestly, if you're just bored during the race, wireless mic on, and just
Yo, Noah's got it.
We're like sitting in a little like tent talking. We're like, all right, now we're gonna take it to Henry. I'm
Oh my gosh.
I'm on mile 20 right now. I'm really dying.
Oh,
10 out of
You
10.
have the wireless
Because we
mic
have two
now.
of them. We have two wireless microphones.
That's wild. Now we'd like to take it over at Kyle Hose at mile 15.
I could like get a
Henry's Crossing.
GoPro facing my face on the bike.
That would be too
with
lit.
the voice memos recording me with my clip-on mic. Because my phone, I can put my phone in the back of my jersey.
That'd be so
And then
sweet.
I'll use one of the mics in my phone, and then Noah and Kyle can be on the audio
Yeah.
recorder with their mics.
So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you though, as lit as that sounds,
It's not gonna happen.
because after mile 10, you're not even gonna want to utter a word while you're riding your bike.
No shot.
After mile 1,
I mean, honestly, as soon as I got on the seat, I'd be like,
we know that.
I don't even think I could get the jersey on without doing that.
"Oh, why? Because you're so jacked."
No, because I'm
Oh,
fat now.
okay, dude, come on, don't play.
I'm kidding,
Noah's freaking ripped.
I lost 12 pounds working at a donut shop, though.
That's wild. Sure, it wasn't all those pizzas you're not allowed to eat anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, probably it.
One of the best parts
Oh,
about
not
no,
good.
it's closed. It closed at 12. Speedy Cafe, it's closed.
Wow.
One of the best parts about hanging out with the boys is the video games. And one of the video games we like to play is MLB The Show.
Dude, this is not gonna go good for me.
And so we have MLB The Show 20 because, we just play MLB The Show. We don't have to worry about the year.
Spit it out.
Me and Kyle play, and I choose to be the Detroit Tigers, who
Kyle.
won a whopping 50 games. They went 50 and 112.
Here it
And here we
comes.
go again.
You think it's
That's
picking
why
it up?
That's why I was thinking we were.
100%.
That's why I was
That's
saying
why we're
speaking of stop
speaking of
signs,
stop
because
signs.
I checked and it was 40 minutes, and it's been around 40 minutes. And
That's
All right.
crazy.
Looks like we're speaking of stop signs.
All right, speaking of stop signs.
needless to say, I beat Kyle with the worst team in the league at the best team ever created.
And then I lost by Noah, and he's never played before, basically.
So Kyle, thank you for coming on. Noah, it's been a pleasure. Henry, happy birthday.
21.
Chris. Can you do something
for me?
Speaking of stop signs, it's been episode 77 of the YoungBucks podcast. Peace out.
See you.
Bye.